Well, you have to think and act locally, but you have to think and act globally as well, because there is a global movement in insurance today that is much more expansive than it was before. I guess it's the same thing with global communication, global travel, global this, global that. There's a global interest. What we need to do is make sure that as we watch what's happening globally, that we don't allow our interest in watching global development distract us away from our basic jobs of protecting the public back home. In addition, we have to make sure that global interests don't distract us away from state-based regulation, because they see things differently. They have a different method. They have a different structure of regulatory supervision of insurance. It's central government, in effect. Each has its own regulator experience in each one of the European countries, for example. So they don't have states and state-based regulation. Their system works well for them, but we have to have them understand and clearly explain to them and make sure that they can follow why state-based regulation is best for the United States. And we don't need to have the super imposition of a federal regulatory system to be able to deal at the global level. Just because it might seem easier to deal with a single regulator at the national level doesn't justify moving away from state-based regulation. So I think there's perhaps not a full understanding of how the states have done such a good job, and it's my job and my goal to help some of our federal, our international friends understand from my experience as well as from the experience of my members how well state regulation has done and why we need to preserve it and why it's not necessary to change it to interface and interact with the global community.